Just adding this at the start here because I forgot to mention, please read my terms of service. There is a link in the description to that. Okay, that's all. On with the video. Thanks! Hello, I'm CharrChan, the maker of this fursuit, and if you're watching this video, chances are you're interested in potentially buying this. So this fursuit is a mini partial monkey, which means we have a head, paws and a tail. First things first, this fursuit is made with blankets. Not traditional faux furs, but instead blankets. So these are the two textures of blankets that I used in this fursuit. So the peachy one is what we call Cuddle Fleece or Minky type blankets. So this is very similar to Minky that you would find on plush toys and such. Very soft and not much to say, it's very soft and it's like a mink texture. Whereas the other one, this is Cuddle Fleece and this one is often called mink. And it's very dense fur. I'm not very good at describing fur textures, to be honest, but it's very soft, very smooth. Slightly different texture to this, but also very soft. So those are the two textures of blankets we have. All of my suits will come with the swatches of fabric, so if you ever need to colour match any fabrics, you've got swatches to try and colour match with. This suit does also use regular Minky. Let me get an example of that. So the purple on this suit is just this regular Minky fabric, the kind you find on plush toys, very commonly used in fursuit making as well. Otherwise, standard materials for the suit such as a foam head base, plastic for the eyes and stiffened felt eyelashes, but we'll go over all of that stuff with the head later. Sizing. So this fursuit is a 23-inch head maximum. It is quite a snug fit, so 23-inch head maximum. Smaller heads obviously will fit just fine as well. The paws are more suited to smaller hands. They're quite big on my hands because I have really tiny hands, but they are suited towards more small hands or thinner hands. It's kind of difficult to describe the sizing of hands, just smaller hands will fit better. But the lining is lycra, so is stretchy, so there's some wiggle room. Okay, so we've gone over sizing, let's go into details about the individual parts of this suit. Let's start with the paws. So the paws are 5-finger paws. They do have a left and a right. So the paws, you can tell the difference between the left and the right by the stuffing. The stuffing is in all of the fingers, but also only in the back of the hand. There's no stuffing in the palm of the hand. So that's how you'll be able to tell the difference between left and right, as there are no other labels or indicators. These are 5-fingered paws, so your hands are like that inside the paw. Here's an example of the paws on. You don't really have the best mobility as they are still puffy paws with lots of stuffing in them, but you know, you've got finger movement, you can express emotions with your hands. So as I said, these paws are lined with lycra. Let's see if I can show that. It's out of focus. Let's get that in focus. There we go. So lined with lycra, cuffed with Minky, and made with the mink blanket and the Cuddle Fleece blanket for all the fingers. So that was paws. Let's have a look at the tail. Now this tail is really long. I cannot get the whole thing in frame because it is so long. It's 60 inches. Or 1.5 meters or 150 centimeters approximately, so it's really long. There are 2 belt loops and there's a foam disc at the base of the tail. Very floppy tail, stuffed with polyfill, definitely a floor dragger. And also I put some plastic pellets in the end of the tail, so it makes a nice little noise when you gently tap it or when it hits the floor. Not much to say about it, it's all one solid colour. There's only one seam running down the length of the tail, so not too many seams on it, and that's all I have to say about it really. It's just a really long tail. Alright, so we've gone over the paws and the tail, let's have a look at the head. So the head, as I said, it has a foam base, and the eyes are made with 0.5mm plastic. The eyelashes are made with stiffened felt, and the eye pupils, the mesh for the eyes, is what I've been calling supervision mesh. What that actually is a car sunscreen sunblock mesh that you will suction cup to the window, and what I do is I take that and I stick it to the eyes and chop it and make pupils with it. This has brilliantly clear vision for a fursuit. Yes, your vision is still a little bit impaired by, fursuit vision, things such as depth perception. You have a little bit of a bar between your vision, as with most fursuits. It's not too bad because this bar is quite small. I make the gap between the eyes very small on my style of suit, but there is still no depth perception. But in terms of vision clarity, I find that this mesh is brilliant. You can see a lot more clearly compared to the more standard fursuit meshes. However, there is a downside, and I'm going to have to show you that by taking the head off the mannequin, so bear with me a second. Got them off the head, I can show you the downside of this mesh. The only downside to this mesh is that you can see through it both ways. It's not too bad, especially from a distance. So you will be able to see your human eyes if someone gets too close, but I think that's a pretty okay trade-off for having really clear vision for a fursuit. Yes, it is still a little bit blurry because fursuit vision, but it is as clear as I can possibly get it. Other features of this head are a Minky lined mouth, difficult to show because of contrasty things. The teeth are Minky, they are ladder stitched on. The ears are also ladder sewn on, as well as this hair tuft, which is actually just the same fabric as this brown fabric, and I patterned out this little fur tuft and turned it out, and it's filled with polyfill. I actually sewed it on at an angle just so it doesn't look quite so strange from the front, otherwise it would just be a thing, like a not much shape to it, so I decided to turn it at a bit of an angle so you can maybe see a little bit better the shape of it from the front. These nostrils are also ladder sewn on. The tongue is blanket stitched in at the back of the mouth, and also has a couple of stitches at the very tip just to keep it from flapping upwards. I found that was a problem with the tongue, so I sewed it down permanently. Here's a look at the back of the head. Not much going on there. It's brown. There it is. These fur tufts at the side of the face are sculpted into the foam, so those won't be going anywhere. It should be quite a sturdy suit. It's also very lightweight for a fursuit head as well. Since the mouth is completely hollow in here, this is just 1/2 inch foam to make the muzzle. I think that's all I have to say about the head really. Oh, it is fully lined. The head is fully lined, including the neck. It's kind of difficult to show properly on camera, but fully lined head. Well, I think that's everything I have to say about this fursuit. If you have any questions whatsoever about this fursuit, then please feel free to ask. You can message me on my social media such as Twitter or Instagram. You could also email me at CharrChanContact@gmail.com, and I will get back to you as quickly as I can and answer your questions. I will mention that I recommend wearing a mask under the fursuit, just because this hole here, so you can breathe, is quite big, and the muzzle is quite short, so you can kind of see your human nose and mouth quite easily. So wearing a black mask under this fursuit is recommended. I will be sending one with this fursuit, so you don't have to buy one yourself, because you'll get one free with this fursuit. Well, I guess it's technically paid for because you're paying for the fursuit, but I will be sending a mask with the fursuit so that whoever buys it will be able to wear a mask under it and avoid the human mouth and nose visibility thing. Okay, I think that's all I had to say about this fursuit, so with that being said, I'm going to leave you with some pictures and videos of this fursuit in action so you can get a feel for the character and what it looks like being worn. And with that, I'm going to go now before I keep rambling. So thank you so much for watching, thank you for considering buying this suit, and if you do buy it then thank you very much, it is highly, highly, highly appreciated, as you are what keep this business going. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Thank you so much for watching and bye!